Trust me, I don't live under a rock. I just want to put this out there, like, I don't live under a rock, okay? I don't. Think positive. Negative thinking doesn't get you anywhere. If you've got things that you want to work on, think positive about them. Even when you know you're not perfect, you don't have to sit there and be like, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Negative thinking only drains your energy. It takes more energy to think negatively than it does to think positively. Hey fam, Sarah here. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm a mom of 5 and I've also been married going on 20 years coming up in next year, January. So the reason why I throw that in there is just because in the midst of some of the things that I might be talking about in this video, it gives you an understanding and clarification. Just so you're not lost, I'm also a stay-at-home mom / homeschooling mom. And I've homeschooled all my 3 older kids up until high school. That being said, I recently just turned 39, y'all. 39. Oh my gosh. I can't even, like, I just can't even wrap my head around the fact that I turned 39. I am literally a year away from turning the big 4-0. So anyways, in today's video, I want to share with you guys just some of the things that I've learned in life and some of my experiences, as well as just like maybe 10 things that I'm learning or have learned to kind of live by in life. And yeah, I just want to share them with you. I just want to put a disclaimer out there though, that these things are not like by any means any standards for anyone else to live by. They're just things that I have learned, I have experienced, and things that I just want to share. And let me know if you can relate and let me know if you can't. And that's okay if you don't. So before we get started, don't forget to give today's video a big like, and also feel free to answer or ask any questions down below, or answer any questions that I may ask in today's video. And yeah, grab yourself a snack or anything like that, so you can sit down and enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay, so one of the first things that I've learned, first and foremost, is to be myself. I'm not gonna go on too much about this because I think we've all heard this before, but honestly, being yourself is key. And I talk about it just because I'm in the social media world, and I know it's hard for a lot of people to be themselves. It's hard. It's easy. It's not even to say it's so hard to be yourself. It's easy to want to gravitate towards being kind of like somebody else. But honestly, if you show up being yourself, especially when you're a good person with a good heart and you know, all those things, you're gonna be far better off, whether or not you see it immediately in successes or immediately in whatever, long term. Because you know what, a big part, mental health is so much more important than all the other things, and you're gonna feel much better when you show up being you than when you spend time being somebody else, because I mean that would be exhausting. Well, that's pretty much all that I have to say on that. Anyways, but yeah, that's one thing I've learned, because being in this area, I've been challenged a few times, and it's not even so like it's so much like it's so prominent in your face. Sometimes you start changing a little bit, and change isn't bad. I just want to put that out there. Change isn't bad, so long as change is in a positive direction, so long as change is for the better, so long as change is what you want to do and not changing just because you want to be like somebody else. So yeah, I just want to point that out there, that change is okay, but it should be for the right reason, because you want to better yourself. Number 2 is kind of related, but you know, it's just remembering that you're good enough. You are good enough. And I say it's related because with the first one, you know, we could see certain people saying the social media area. It's just a good category to kind of go with, because we see the people who will be successful, and sometimes it's like, oh wow, that's what they have. They've got this factor. This is why they're so successful. But at the end of the day, you are good enough. You're good enough to be successful just by being who you are. There may be tips and there may be tricks, and there may still be, you may need to up your energy a little bit. That's okay. But so long as you are still being yourself, and just remembering that you're good enough just the way you are. Okay, so number 3 for me is trusting my intuition. I have trusted my intuition, and whenever I've trusted my intuition, it has never steered me wrong. And when I've not trusted my intuition, yeah, yeah. You know what? Let me give you a quick little story time. So recently I was editing a video, right? I was making my post on social media, and I was trying to figure out how to say what I wanted to say. And then I was like linking, so it was basically a video about my kids like cleaning their room, and they had cleaned their room, but they needed me to come and sit down and monitor them. We made a whole video about it. It was just funny because my kids, I made a threat to my kids, but it was out of humor that I was gonna come and sit in their room and watch them clean it, because they've been like, you know, this room has been trying to get clean for like months. So long story short, it was humorous. We sat down, we made a video out of it, and then I went to go post the content on social media. So I was trying to figure out how to word it. I was like, yeah, I sat in the room and cleaned it. I said, can you imagine these kids wanted me to be in their room, but I was like, while they cleaned it, I was like, I had so many other things I could be doing, but then I was saying that I really enjoyed my time with them. I had to go in there and act like such and such a person who is like a cleaning expert, who teaches you how to get rid of things that don't give you joy, okay? So I was thinking about that, and I'm sure you guys probably know who I'm talking about. I just didn't want to name drop, not because I don't want to be insulting to anyone, because I mean, the method isn't wrong either. It's just a matter of, at the end of the day, when you are a spiritual individual, you are well aware of where joy comes from, and it shouldn't come from anything, you know? So the method that's being taught at the end of the day is still teaching you to hold on to the things that bring you joy, and as you know, that's the reality of that. And everything is not that deep. Like, I know in reality it's not all that deep. So the thought went through my mind was like, you're tagging that, huh? That's what you're tagging. Like, you're still gonna tag that and promote that out there to the fans, to just talk to them about keep what brings you joy. The thought went through my mind, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, like, what the heck, why am I thinking this? This is not that deep. Like, it's not a deep thing. And so I just kind of ignored it, and I still wrote it. And then I hit post, and the screen went blank. It went blank, okay? It went white. Nothing was there. Nothing was loading. Nothing was showing. I left it for about 5 to 10 minutes because I'm like, okay, is it gonna do something? I was like, in case my video isn't posting, we'll kind of let it do its thing. So it was trying to post, like, it was, nothing changed. So I came back, I turned my phone off and turned it on. And then when it came on, I realized that my video did in fact upload. And I was like, oh, okay, so everything worked out. I picked up my cell phone, was about to walk away when I realized that it uploaded. I said, let me go check the actual description box, which is all the things that I wrote, specifically talking about, specifically tagging the individual, famous individual who talks about keeping things that brings you joy. I don't even know why I'm saying it like that, because like I said, it's not even that deep, and I still love the person. There's nothing ill that they are trying to do, but I was just saying on a deeper level, you know. Yeah, anyways, I tagged the individual, and then when I went to go check the description box, it was blank, it was clear, it was clean, everything got erased. And I laughed to myself. You want to know why I laughed? Because earlier that morning I woke up and I said, and the prayer that I prayed that day was, God, please direct my day, please lead me down a clean path. It was basically saying, I want you to lead my day and lead me in a direction that is of you. Basically, that was my prayer. And when the thought came to mind that, okay, it's like God is like saying, like, you asked me to lead you today, and I'm here telling you, like, just don't write this piece. Not today. I don't want you to write it today. And I disregarded I disregarded the thought, the feelings, the intuition, the whatever it was. I disregarded it and just kind of played it off. And then I went to go check my stuff, and it was blank. Yeah, I immediately, like, not even a shadow of a doubt, knew that that was God. I laughed because I'm like, okay, God. I was like, oh my gosh, he does not play. He showed up for me and I disregarded him. He does not play. That, I don't know if y'all understand that story. I hope I said it in a way that makes sense, but literally every time I go against my intuition and I go against the voice of, like, when I hear God's voice and I go in the opposite direction, it just does not work out. So that's where it was for me. It did not work out that day. My post, so when I went to write my post, it was like, I was like, okay, I get you, God. It was like a clean slate. I started my post again, and I clearly did not write what I was writing the first time because I understood the message. But I got it only after the slap on the wrist, like, girl, did you not just ask me to direct your day? Did I not just try to talk to you and you still ignored me? Hello. Anyways, that was like a long tangent to explain that story, but that was a story for me. That was a story that I recently experienced like a week or two ago, and it's just so powerful. It just reminds me how powerful God is and how powerful our intuition is. He gives it to us. He gives us all that like internal what's the word I'm looking for? Put the word down below probably before I will say it, because remember, I'm a mom, right? Sometimes mommy brain really kicks in and I just can't even remember the word I'm trying to say. I need to take some like ginkgo biloba, some memory pill. Okay, so my next point kind of goes off of what I said. I try to kind of make them flow a little bit, you know, so it makes sense. My next point goes with pray about everything. And I understand that not everyone has the same beliefs as me and all that stuff, like I said before. But for me, praying about everything is it's so important, and I've been doing it more and more as I've gotten older. I always prayed back then, but you know, when you're young, you feel like you've got all the time in the world, like everything is just, you know how young people feel. They just feel like they're gonna live forever. And so back then I was like kind of lackluster. I prayed here and there, but you know, faith is just like wavery. These days I consult him. I consult God about everything. Like, he's my consultant. Like, I have to consult him about all the things, and that's where my peace comes from. There's just so much to carry. There's so many burdens to bear, and just all these different things in life, and we're not meant to do it on our own. We are meant to take it to him in prayer, and so I'm doing that. He wants me to seek his face, and so I'm just trying my best to be steadfast in doing so. And whenever I do, I have so much more peace because I just don't feel lost, and I don't feel just the burden on me. I feel like I just feel so much lighter because he's taking the burden for me. My situation may not be changed immediately. I may not have answers right away. I mean, I'm still seeking his face right now. I'm seeking right. Should I share what I'm talking about? I don't know. I'm seeking his face to know if I should go down this journey called pregnancy another time. And I've postponed, like, if it were up to me, I would have been pregnant well long time ago, but because I just want to make sure it's from him and that it's all like it's him and he wants this for me, I'm seeking his face, and I'm doing so patiently. And yeah. So praying about everything. Let me know if you guys understand what I mean. Like, back when we were young, it wasn't like the same thing, and you know, let me know if you can relate. Okay, so this one for me, number 5, is so important, like choosing joy. Ultimately, we all want to be happy, but if we don't choose joy, our moods are just going to be, like, it's not that our moods aren't going to be all over the place, because we're not going to be happy all the time either. But when I say choose happy, it means that we have to choose initially, A, to be happy, and then B, the rest of the things that come, we have to figure out how to go about them. How do we navigate them? But the mission is still to choose happiness. Like, bad things happen to certain people and you see them and you're like, how are they still able to get back up on their feet? And how are they still able to do something? Some people take that as like, oh, it's a negative thing. Just like they didn't love the person, or they didn't love or they just didn't care, and it's just like, no, they're just choosing happy. It's like, God forbid they lost someone that they loved, but that individual is still here, and everyone deals with things differently. And I'm not just talking about losing someone, but it's just an example that just kind of came to me. I'm also thinking about just like everyday, you know, just everyday things in everyday life. You could sit down and just be sad and depressed about all the things you don't have and all the things that you want, and just like, but you can still choose to be happy. We can all be grateful for something. I don't want it to sound like cliche and cringy, or, you know, in any way, shape, or form, but it's real stuff. These are things that I've learned to live by. It makes you so much happier. It allows for you to see the things that you need to be appreciative of. When good things come, and even bigger things than what you could have ever dreamt about come, you are just going to be beyond grateful. From what I see in individuals, when they're not grateful for small things, they are generally not grateful wholeheartedly for large things. You might be happy in the moment and happy for a week or two, but then we go back to square one. You're not good. You're searching for more. You're just never content, because it's always more and more and more and more and more. So at the end of the day, I just think it's so important to choose joy, because I mean, we have the ability to choose that despite our circumstances or our experiences, and we are able to still overcome, because we are not our experiences. They happen to us and they may hurt us and they can do all the things, but at the same token, we still have, with the help of God, we're still able to overcome, and we are still able to choose joy. And we're still able to choose joy with like some of the basic mundane things that we may complain about that we don't have or that we want. So yeah, so this next one is so real, given that I just turned 39. Age is nothing but a number. And yes, obviously we say that lightly, because obviously when you're getting older and older, it's harder to say that. But in reality, like being 39, I mean, when I think about where I'm at now, and when I tied my tubes well back with the kids, and I just felt like, oh, I just had to, I would not have kids in my 30s and all that jazz. To be fair, my 30s was my best experience with my pregnancies. It's just so weird. I was, you know, my pregnancies in my 20s were not, like, especially my first one was not that great. It was horrible. And then the rest followed. Like, I got progressively better, but my pregnancies, the last two ones that I had, were phenomenal. And that's when it just kind of dawned upon me. I'm like, okay, like this age thing, I don't know. Like, I understand some of the challenges and the different things that pose as a threat when you are getting older. But at the end of the day, those things didn't play negatively in any of my pregnancies. They were my pregnancies that I experienced recently were at the end were my most successful pregnancies. And to be fair, as I've gotten a little bit older, I've even felt better. And maybe it has something to do with like just being more sensible, eating a little bit better, and you know, being more active than my younger self. Even though I went to the gym, I mean, I don't think we ate very well at all those lunchtime with our friends. Yeah, I don't think we ate very well. I mean, I got nice home-cooked meals, but when I was out at school, it was like fries and gravy or random nonsense at school. So anyways, as I've gotten older, I try my best to take better care of myself, trying to walk, trying to be healthy, trying to juice, try to, you know, all those things, making sure I'm getting nutrients, even taking vitamins. So maybe it has something to do with that, where you just feel like, okay, like, you know, you feel a little agile, you know, yeah. Okay, so this next one is manifestation is key, okay? Manifestation is key. If you want something and you want to work hard for it, you have to put it out there and work towards it. You can't just like be down on yourself, down and depressed, and you want good things to happen, but you're not willing to do anything, and you're just saying, you just say the one positive thing is just having this desire. Everything else surrounding what you're saying are negative. Like, that kind of stuff does not help you. Manifestation is key. And that is one thing I have learned, is to, when I want something, to kind of put it out there and pray about it and manifest it, and it will be in it. Like I said, thinking it back when I was wanting to have a baby, and my tubes were tied, I just put it out there and I prayed about it, and I put it out there and I prayed about it, and I researched and I looked at my options, and it still seemed bleak. And then but I just remained steadfast, because I'm like, this is my heart, this is my heart, this is my heart. And when we're gonna sell our house, I was like, no, I'm like, I feel like this is I'm like, this is what I want, and I feel God's presence in it. So you know what, when our realtor was like, sell your house for this much, I was like, no, I want to sell it for this much. I was factoring in the price of my tubal reversal. I was manifesting it and just praying about it, and it all played out. And it's happened like that with many other things in my life. And I hear other people talk about manifestation too. So let me know what you guys think about it. Manifesting it, manifesting what you want. You know, seeking God's face and manifesting what you want, because he says he will answer your prayers. I was already sharing my story and my journey with people, and I spoke about it like it was gonna happen, like I was just in a place of, I don't know, I was just in this place like I knew my prayers would be answered, and it didn't hinder me from wanting to share my journey. I many times was thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't put, you know, when you think you shouldn't put something out there because you're like, it hasn't been fully answered yet, you don't know. And it's not that you won't move like that ever, but the reality is with this particular thing, I was manifesting it. I spoke like I knew God would deliver me. And I knew that my prayers were going to be answered. Yeah, I have definitely been just kind of working on that mindset more and more. And I've seen the positives, the benefits. And this also goes hand in hand with positivity is key. Think positive. Negative thinking doesn't get you anywhere. If you've got things that you want to work on, think positive about them. Think about, apply yourself. Think about the changes that you want to make and positively think. Even if you know you have things you need to work on, even when you know you're not perfect, you don't have to sit there and be like, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that, Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Negative thinking only drains your energy. It takes more energy to think negatively than it does to think positively. If you know you've got something to change, think about what you're trying to change and think positively about how you could go about changing those things for the betterment of yourself, your situation, and all those around you, all those things. Right? Because honestly, if you're negative and whoever you're around, it's going to negatively impact them too. I just want to put correction, not telling you to go change for people, saying when you change, it's going to, in a positive way, it's going to better the people around you too, because the negative, like, you ever been around somebody who is just so negative, it just sucks the energy right out of you? Or you try to talk someone out of their negative thinking and try to encourage them by saying positive things and I'm just pointing out that it's not all bad. It's not all bad. Yes, your situation is harsh, and yes, it's hard, and yes, you've experienced certain things, but it's not all bad, and you're trying to help them see outside of it, and they don't want to see it, and you will go around in circles and circles, and it's exhausting. So once you correct that way of thinking and you start applying yourself and you apply positive thinking and a positive mindset, it will go a much further way. So positive thinking is key. You just feel so much better, honestly. Because life will come. There's always gonna be bumps in the roads, and if you're just gonna tackle bumps in the roads with negative thinking, you're gonna have a rude awakening, and it's gonna be that much harder to deal with than to be positive and to realize that there's still life to live, and there's still something to be grateful for, or there's still reasons to be positive. I mean, if you look out there these days, you can see it all. You can see so much of it on social media, when people you would see that you think will ultimately be suffering, or you just think that they feel so sorry for themselves. People who don't have limbs, and people who don't have just all like things that you're so grateful for that you have every day, and you just think they'll be down and out, and yet they're up there. They have families, they have this, they're thriving, and they're still passionate, and they still are so positive that they're manifesting good things for themselves, and they're not just sitting sulking in a corner. Yeah, we have those as motivation to help us a little bit, for those of us who may not have it so naturally, or may not think it so naturally, or you know what I mean. Yeah. Well, that said, I only have 2 more. So that said, the next one is smile through the difficult times, because difficult times are gonna come, but they won't stay. They're not there to stay forever. So smile. Still find reasons to smile even when things are hard, because there's still things to smile about. And smiling is said to possess like healing qualities. Have you ever heard about the healing power of a smile? Because it actually releases just like certain chemicals that are just feel-good chemicals. I'm no scientist, so I'm not going to break it down to you scientifically, but yeah, it does something to you. That's why laughter is good. It heals us. So find reasons to smile even when you're experiencing hard times. Literally, I can't think of anything in life that's not hard in some way, shape, or form. And I understand that there's some people who experiencing it much harder, or there's some situations that are much harder than others. But just like the basis of everyday life, everybody experiences some form of hardship in literally everything they do. Going to work is hard. It's hard. Even if you're a doctor and you have a well-paid job, your job is hard too, because you're doing work that is, you know, that's not easy. And you have to get rest and you have to do this. Yes, there's an aspect of it that's like you work so hard so you get this easier, not, I won't say easier, but to live a certain quality of life. But it doesn't make it that, it just doesn't take away the fact that it's still, there's still difficulties in there and they still have challenges. You know, growing up is hard. The transition from just being a child who gets everything to now being an adult who has to work for things. That's hard. Becoming a mom is hard. You know, and yet we as women seek to become pregnant all the time. Getting pregnant part might be easy, but carrying the baby for 9 months is not easy. Even though some of us can happily say we enjoyed our pregnancy. Do we enjoy it just because it's easier, or do we enjoy it because of our perspective and the way we think about things? So, you know, and then having children is an amazing blessing. But does it come without hardships? Is parenting and raising children, child rearing is easy? No, it's not. So there's like, you know, there's just difficulties in everything. So we definitely have to find ways to cope and survive, basically. And find reasons to smile, even when things are hard. Okay, and so this last thing is so important to me to share. This last thing I live by, and I just hope it resonates well with anyone and everyone to try to do the same. Treat people with love and kindness, no matter who they are, or what background they're from, or what gender they are, or what any of that. Like, it doesn't even matter. It's not for me to judge, it's for God to judge. You can still treat people with kindness because it's a basic necessity that we all deserve to be treated with love and kindness. And if we practice it more and more, everyone would be receiving it. But you know, when there's a break in that practice, then that's why it breaks down, because people feel hurt, and then people don't want to redo it because it's like, it never happens to me. And when it happens to me, they just feel like I don't ever get treated like with love and kindness. So like, it's after a while, it's like the hardened hearts, you know, your heart gets hardened after a while, after the rejection and the pain and the hurt and the different things from just not being treated as an equal or being treated well. And I'm just talking on a daily basis, like, you don't have to turn a blind eye and just treat somebody ill for any reason. Like, it's not necessary, right? Your beliefs don't have to be the same. At the core of you, you know what you believe and you know who you are, and that's okay. Sometimes it just makes them feel seen because they didn't even feel seen before, and all of a sudden you were just being kind and going out of your way to be kind, open a door, just being considerate, just saying an extra thank you. When I receive a service that, I mean, you feel like it should naturally be, it's like an example of calling the doctor's office. And sometimes I find like secretaries, I know they experience a lot. Sometimes they can be so blunt and so cold for people working with people who might be dealing with medical issues or different struggles that are painful or hurtful or whatever, right? And the offices can be so cold, but sometimes I might get a secretary that is so nice and patient and will take the time to explain all the things, and I would be the person that's like, thank you. Just give them an extra thank you and just explain, you know, I appreciate you taking that time to do that for me. It's not that, oh, it shouldn't be given, because if it is your job, like, that should be a part, but everybody handles their job differently. So don't take it for granted when somebody else does it nicely. and think it should just be done, because at the end of the day, now they are the one in a million, when a lot of people aren't doing what they're supposed to do, and they are still doing it because they have some sense of value and some sense of understanding. Yeah, trust me, I don't live under a rock. I just want to put this out there, like, I don't live under a rock, okay? I don't. Some people who don't practice this will be like, oh, she lives under a rock, like she really don't think like you can do this and blah blah blah. And it's just like it's just my experience. It's what I personally feel. I don't know. Mind you, when you go out of your way and you're trying to be kind and then you're still met with nonsense, then yeah, you know, attitudes can come out, because I got some too, but I do my best to try. I do my best to try, okay? And try to be the best version of myself on the daily, but yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I feel like it went on forever. I hope it wasn't boring. Let me know what you think, and if you guys want to see and hear more of me chit chat about stuff like this or anything else, maybe something else, but let me know. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and wish me a happy 39th birthday. It passed, by the way. It passed, and overall I had a great day. I think I had a clip. Stay tuned for the clip. I'll show you the clips of me opening my birthday gifts and such for my family and things like that in a vlog. So be on the lookout for our vlogs. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and bye y'all.